Have you ever paid attention to the kind of mucus your body produces, especially as you get older? Most people don't give it a second thought, but after 70, doctors warn that certain types of mucus can actually signal serious health problems that deserve a closer look. It might sound like a small thing, but mucus is your body's way of letting you know what's happening inside. And when something changes, it can be an early sign that you need to take action. In this video, we're breaking down the 5 types of mucus that seniors should never ignore. Whether it's a change in color, texture, or how often you notice it, understanding these signs can make all the difference in catching health problems early and staying ahead of the curve. If you or someone you care about is in their 60s, 70s, or beyond, this is information you'll want to keep close. Stay tuned until the very end because you'll discover not only what makes some mucus hazardous, but also the simple steps you can take to protect your health and feel confident in your body signals. If you've ever been unsure about a change or wondered if something was normal, you're about to get the answers you need. Now, let's get started. Sign 1: Thick yellow or green mucus. One of the clearest warning signs doctors talk about is mucus that turns thick, yellow, or green, especially if you notice it coming from your nose, throat, or chest. For most people, mucus is a clear, slippery shield that lines your airways and keeps germs at bay. But when it starts changing color and getting heavier, that's your body's way of sounding the alarm. As we age, the immune system naturally slows down, and infections can get a foothold much faster than when we were younger. Seniors are especially vulnerable to bronchitis, sinus infections, and even pneumonia. And often, it's this change in mucus that shows up before any other symptoms. What happens is simple. Your body sends extra system. Those cells give mucus its yellow or green color. If you find yourself coughing up thick colored mucus or blowing it from your nose for several days in a row, it's not something to brush off. You might also notice chest tightness, a sore throat, or a fever creeping in. For folks over 70, these symptoms can quickly turn from a minor annoyance into a serious health crisis if they're ignored. Let's talk about Harold, age 82, who always prided himself on toughing things out. Last winter, he started waking up with a deep cough and was surprised to see thick green mucus in his tissue. At first, he thought it was just a stubborn cold, but when the symptoms lingered, his daughter convinced him to see a provider. It turned out Harold was developing a chest infection, and getting early treatment made all the difference. He recovered quickly and was able to avoid a hospital stay. Doctors stressed that after 70, even a simple infection can spiral quickly. If you notice thick, yellow, or green mucus for more than a few days, especially if you also feel tired, weak, or feverish, it's time to reach out for help. Early action keeps small problems from becoming bigger and helps you bounce back faster so you can get on with living the way you want. Sign 2: Bloody or rust-colored mucus. Among the changes that truly worry doctors, finding blood in your mucus stands out as one of the most important warning signals to never ignore. For most seniors, mucus is a routine part of life, sometimes a bit thicker in the morning or after a dusty walk outside. But when you suddenly notice streaks of blood or mucus that looks pink, brown, or rusty, it can be a sign of something more serious happening in your airways or lungs. After 70, the tissues lining your nose, throat, and bronchial tubes can become more delicate and prone to irritation. A little blood now and then, especially if you've been coughing hard but if the color persists, gets darker, or starts showing up with no clear reason, it's your body's way of telling you that something deeper might be wrong. Causes can range from a bad sinus infection to chronic bronchitis. But in some cases, it can even be a sign of more serious conditions like pneumonia, pulmonary embolism, or very rarely, lung cancer. Take Martha, age 77, who always stayed active in her garden. One spring, she noticed her morning mucus turning rusty and spotted with red, even though she didn't have a cold or allergies. At first, she hoped it would go away, but after a few days, she felt winded walking up the driveway. Her doctor took her concerns seriously and ordered a chest scan, which showed an early infection. Because Martha spoke up quickly, she got the care she needed and was back, tending her flowers in no time. Doctors urge seniors never to ignore new or unusual colors in their mucus, especially when blood is involved. Even if you feel fine otherwise, this type of change can be your body's way of sounding an early alarm about inflammation, infection, or a more serious problem. It's always better to check and get reassurance than to wish you'd done something sooner. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Sign 3, frothy or foamy mucus. Another type of mucus that deserves close attention is mucus that appears frothy or foamy, especially if it's coming up when you cough. For most of your life, mucus might have been mostly clear and slick. But after 70, it's not uncommon for the body to start making mucus that has a bubbly, airy look, almost like the top of a cappuccino. This isn't just that frothy mucus can point to changes in your lungs or heart, sometimes hinting at problems that go beyond a simple cold. In particular, frothy or foamy mucus can show up in people who are dealing with heart trouble or certain kinds of lung disease. When the heart isn't pumping as strongly as it should, fluid can slowly back up into the lungs, creating a moist, bubbly mucus that just won't go away. You might also notice swelling in your ankles, shortness of breath when you walk, or a feeling of tightness in your chest. Sometimes seniors think this is just part of slowing down, but these symptoms should never be ignored. Let's take a look at Alan, age 80, who started noticing that he was coughing up a light. Frothy spewed him in the mornings and getting winded during his short walks. He'd always considered himself strong and independent, so he shrugged it off at first, but when the cough got worse and the mucus didn't clear up, his son encouraged him to check in with his provider. Alan's doctor recognized the signs of heart failure and helped him get started on treatment right away. Thanks to catching the issue early, Alan is now back to his daily walks, and he keeps a closer eye on what his body's telling him. What makes frothy or foamy mucus tricky is that it can seem mild at first, sometimes coming and going with changes in weather or activity. But if you notice this kind of mucus sticking around, especially if it's joined by fatigue, swelling, or breathing trouble, it's a sign to take seriously. Early attention gives you a better chance of managing the problem and protecting your independence. Doctors want seniors to remember that mucus changes are just as important as aches, pains, or changes in appetite. When you notice something new, like bubbly or foamy mucus, take a moment to listen and never hesitate to get help. Small clues often point to bigger stories inside the body, and you deserve the best chance at staying healthy, active, and confident at every age. Sign 4, sticky or stringy mucus, that's hard to clear. Sticky or stringy mucus that clings to the back of your throat or chest, and is tough to cough out, is another signal doctors say seniors should never ignore. As we grow older, the body sometimes produces mucus that feels different, thicker, almost like glue and hard to swallow or clear away. This kind of mucus can make your mouth or throat feel coated, and it might even cause you to wake up at night coughing or struggling to breathe comfortably. For many people, especially after 70, sticky mucus is more than just a nuisance. It's often linked to chronic lung or airway problems like chronic obstructive pulmonary disease or severe allergies. The mucus gets thicker because your airways are inflamed or irritated. And the body tries to protect itself by ramping up production. But instead of helping, the sticky mucus can trap germs and block airways, making you more prone to infections and persistent coughing fits. Take Walter, a 79, who always thought a little frog in his throat was just part of getting older. Over time, though, the sensation grew worse. He found himself constantly clearing his throat and felt embarrassed at meals with friends. One afternoon, after nearly choking on a piece of toast, Walter decided to mention the problem to his provider. He learned that his chronic sinus irritation was triggering the production of stringy, sticky mucus, and with the right treatment, his symptoms improved almost overnight. Walter now enjoys eating and socializing again without the worry that had been holding him back. Sticky or stringy mucus can also be a sign that you're not drinking enough fluids or that certain medications are drying you out. Many seniors take medicines that cause dry mouth or dehydration, both of which can make mucus thicker and harder to clear. This is especially true during allergy season or if you spend a lot of time indoors with dry air. Doctors encourage older adults to pay attention to how their mucus feels and to take action if it's tough to swallow, makes breathing harder or causes choking or gagging. Staying hydrated, using a humidifier, or adjusting medications can all make a big difference. And as always, if symptoms persist or worsen, it's important to get checked out. Sometimes what seems like a minor issue is actually your body's early warning system in action. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Sign 5. Clear mucus that becomes excessive and constant. While many people think of clear mucus as harmless, doctors caution that when it becomes excessive, meaning it's always present, drips down the back of your throat, or fills your nose and chest day after day, it can actually point to underlying health issues, especially for seniors. After 70, bodies become more sensitive to everyday irritants like dust, pollen, or changes in weather. But sometimes the body's response gets out of balance and you end up with a steady flow of mucus that won't let up. For older adults, excessive clear mucus can signal a number of different things. It might be the body's way of dealing with chronic allergies, nasal polyps, or postnasal drip, a condition where mucus from the nose constantly drips into the throat, causing coughing, sore throat, and even voice changes. In other cases, it's a sign that your body is trying to flush out viruses or irritants, but is having a hard time getting the job done. Seniors often notice that their nose runs more, their throat always feels coated, or their cough lingers long after a cold has passed. Consider Patricia, age 83, who always thought her constant runny nose was just part of getting older. She carried tissues everywhere and even joked about it with her friends. But she never realized how much it was affecting her sleep, appetite, and enjoyment of meals. When her doctor checked her out, they discovered she had chronic postnasal drip caused by mild allergies. With the right treatment and a few changes to her home environment, Patricia found relief and could finally leave the tissues behind. For many seniors, the hardest part is knowing when normal mucus becomes too much. If you notice clear mucus that seems to never go away, or if it interferes with your daily life, waking you at night, making you cough, or affecting your sense of taste, it's worth a conversation with your provider. Sometimes a simple change in medication, an air purifier, or new allergy management strategies can bring major improvement. Don't ignore constant symptoms just because they seem mild or familiar. Your comfort, sleep, and quality of life matter, especially as you get older. By noticing what's new, listening to your body, and taking action, you give yourself the best chance at staying healthy and enjoying each day to the fullest. Final thoughts. As we finish up today's conversation about the 5 types of mucus, I hope you'll pause to consider just how much these small signs can tell you about your health. Maybe you noticed a change recently, or maybe you've been living with one of these symptoms for years and always thought it was just part of aging. The truth is, your body has a remarkable way of speaking up. And listening to those signals can make all the difference, especially after 70. No matter your age, there's power in being proactive. Noticing changes in your mucus, color, texture, or the way it feels can help you catch issues early. Get the right support and protect your comfort and independence. What your body is trying to tell you. If something doesn't feel right, don't brush it off. Ask questions, seek help, and give yourself the care and attention you deserve. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.